Hello, everyone, and welcome to the premiere of Open Your Eyes, brought to you by the Klickbait Network. I am your intuitive tarot reader and mindset coach, Sakira, and our guest of the day is actually the CEO and producer of the Klickbait Network, Miss Draya King.
Hey, everybody.
How are you feeling, my love?
I'm doing good, boo. How are you?
I'm doing good, baby. You know how that goes. Draya, let me get a vibe check, honey. What's the vibe for you today? Like, what is your energy today?
I'm feeling pretty positive, but I won't lie, I'm really nervous.
The big CEO boss, Draya King, nervous?
Yes, I am.
I'm not gonna lie, I love to hear
This is like an on-screen tarot reading.
I know. Usually,
I have to get read on camera.
Our readings are usually behind closed doors where we get vulnerable. But you're in the lion's den, babe. You ready?
I mean,
you putting all your stuff out there.
As a boss, I am willing and able to accept the challenge.
Period. I love to hear it. So, Draya, let's get down to business.
Yes.
As I get your spread ready, we're gonna pull 3 cards for you.
Okay.
Can you tell the people a little bit about the Clickbait Network, about how you got that started? Just like, give them a summary of what it is that you do.
Okay, well, hi you guys. I am Draya King, the CEO and producer of the Clickbait Network. It was inspired during COVID time. There was just so many negative things going on in the press. I wanted some light. Like, I literally stepped away from social media because it was just like so many negative things happening online at once, plus lockdown happening. And when I came back, I had this idea that I wanted to do a live chat series and invite different creatives and talents that I knew personally, and just catch up with them and see what they were doing during COVID and what endeavors they wanted to work on and all that good stuff. So I guess that really inspired the Podcast King show. And then after some time of different ideas that I had, I formulated the Clickbait Network concept and included the Podcast King show and wanted to expand on different shows to highlight independent and emerging talents, content creators, and entrepreneurs.
Very nice. I love to hear it. And you've done really, really big things over the last few years that I've seen you put, your heart and your soul into this business. And I personally, as your big cousin, yes, I'm putting it out there. I'm very proud of you because, we grew up and I've seen you go through journey after journey and you've overcome so much.
Thank you.
It's really, it's an honor to see you thriving, honestly.
Yeah.
Doing big things, babe.
Listen, I'm glad to be in this space in my life. And I'm glad that you're a part of it. You're a part of the Clickbait family now as well.
Period.
As my bloodline.
Period. All right, Draya, you ready to talk about some of these blockages, some of these limitations that are maybe even self-imposed that are keeping you from having the success, everything that you want for yourself?
Here's where the nervous part comes in.
All right. Overall energy is the King of Pentacles, which I love. It's actually your energy. This is a Taurus card.
Big Taurus energy.
Big Taurus energy. And
big King energy.
Big King, Draya King, Big King energy. This is so fitting for you, not just because of the name, but also because it represents what you are building. This is a king who builds an empire, and it's not obviously gender specific. It's energy specific, right?
That's my birthstone color too.
Don't play with it. Like, come on. You see what's going on here? The alignment. You are building an empire. This is your overall energy. This is what's going on for you at this time. But we got these 3 cards here. We're going to use these to represent, blockages, the things that are keeping you, again, from living your best life with your business. And we're going to talk about it. So with this overall energy, I do want to capitalize on this a little bit before we get into that part. I love to see that you are in your power. That's what that represents. You're taking charge. You're making decisions that really benefit what it is that you want to do. I feel like you're focused. I feel like you're mission dedicated. No, this is the real spill. Like, no shade, no tea. Like, this is what I'm seeing. And it feels very empowering. It feels very inspirational. I'm already inspired by you. But in this reading, it feels very inspirational. And I really feel like you're in big boss energy. Now, that being the good part, let's talk about some of the challenges that are being faced, that you are facing in business now.
Yeah.
The World card. The first card out. Let me show you what she looks like. First of all, she matches your vibe. She's wearing pink.
First of all, she's cunt. She's the moment. She's the it girl. Oh my God, look at
Period.
the bull. Oh my
This
God.
is
This is so funny.
this is a card that represents fixed energy. So you'll see all the four fixed signs: Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and you, obviously the Earth sign, the Earth
Yes.
goddess,
Oh, that's so
Taurus.
dope. I love that.
Right. Let me show you guys real quick what's going on here. This is the World card, which is ruled by Saturn. But this is a card of dedication. It's a card of discipline, hard work, making tough decisions. But the world, that's what Saturn energy is. But the World card, in essence, is really a card of closing out chapters and embracing something new.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you have an issue with maybe knowing when to close something down or how to start something up, or maybe going through a cycle where it's constantly like death and rebirth almost. Like, not that that can be a bad thing, but I feel like it's coming from a place that may not be as genuine as you maybe want it to be. It may be coming more from a wounded space than actually a healthy place.
That's really interesting.
We're going to talk all about this, right? But I want to kind of get through these cards and then we'll go one by one and just see how you feel about what's going on here, right? But the message overall is this card right here, the second card, the Page of Swords in reverse. The Page of Swords, let me show you guys. When it's right side up, it's a person, this is air energy. It's a person who is detail oriented. They sit back, they watch, they analyze, they focus, they pay attention. It's also a person who likes to study, research a lot. I feel like this is in reverse because maybe you have a little bit too much attention to detail, or you maybe like, it feels like overkill. I'm not gonna lie to you. It feels like overkill. It feels like you're not just paying attention, you're paying extra attention. You're not just focused, you're like hyper focused. But because this is a challenge, it tells me that it's coming more again from a wounded space than from anything that's relatively healthy. Like, paying too much attention to detail could never really be a bad thing unless there's a reason that's a little bit negative that's inspiring you to want to pay this much attention to the details.
Okay.
Last card out is the Two of Cups in reverse. Now, generally, if I'm doing a regular reading for someone, this reminds me a lot of like romance and like, boyfriend, girlfriend, or just like attraction stuff. But this can also just symbolize the balance between your masculine and feminine energies, the two energies you have inside of you. This card being in reverse, I'll show you guys. It shows me that there is a imbalance in your energy, and that's the root cause of this energy here that I was talking about. So let's get into it, right? Draya, is coming across as like your masculine and your feminine are out of balance. And it's happening. Okay, whenever we have an imbalance within us, it usually comes from a place of trauma, from wounding, from pain, something from our past that we haven't really been able to like heal, cope with, something like that. It also can come from just maybe ideas or experiences we've had that put ideas into us, like, not being good enough, not feeling like we're perfect enough. It's giving a little bit of a perfectionist complex with this spread. Again, with that super attention to detail. But it's coming from this place of like your masculine and your feminine is not balanced. You have this masculine card here, which I see you in your authoritative state. I see you taking action, but that feminine energy, it feels like it's lacking a little bit. And the feminine energy in tarot and spirituality, it really represents that ability to kind of sit back in your softness, to kind of get the inspirations, to channel the information you need to do. And then the masculine energy kind of takes what you received and acts on it. I feel like you are really good at maybe doing action and getting things done, maybe even making plans. But I feel like the issue is when you receive inspiration, when you get certain ideas, you don't know how to receive it in a healthy way. I feel like you receive it and then you automatically attach a negative belief to it. Like, okay, this is a good idea, but it's not good enough. Something like that. Or, okay, this is something I want to do, but it feels like it's lacking. Like, for you, enough doesn't feel like it's ever enough.
No.
And I like that in a sense, and I'll tell you why.
Almost doesn't count.
It doesn't, right? I'll tell you why I like this in a sense, right? Because it shows me that you have a standard of perfection. And although perfection can be a myth in some senses, it's something to strive for because it shows that you have a tendency towards excellence, which I like. I can respect that, right? But this spread shows me that you may tend to open doors or close doors based on maybe an insecurity that what you're doing isn't good enough.
Okay.
How are you feeling about this so far?
Where should we start?
Yeah, you tell me, babe. Like, let me reiterate. So just going back to the first card out, we can talk card by card since it's only 3. The world card is again that energy of opening cycles, closing cycles. It's learning the lessons, taking what you've learned, applying it to something new. But this again, it feels like it's coming from a wounded space in a sense where maybe you are starting certain endeavors from a place where it doesn't feel exactly like the most optimistic. It doesn't feel like the most confident. Like, how do you feel about that when you are? Because I know that you have gone through a couple of rebrands, which is beautiful. I loved every single rebrand that you've done. But let me ask you personally, what was your mindset behind the rebrands?
I do have something at the top of my head.
Okay, share.
And I thought about it immediately when you explained what that card meant,
Okay.
like the death and rebirth
Mm-hmm.
aspect of it. Honestly speaking, I feel like, and this is going to get a little deep,
Let's get deep, baby.
trigger warning for myself.
Don't be triggered.
Prior to my transition,
Okay.
I feel like I started a life and I cultivated a certain journey
Okay.
that I was on for myself when it came to optimistic endeavors, career wise, personally. And I was on such a good path. You know, we had like our dance videos that we did back in the days, and I did styling and shooting. And then I got into like fashion and did like the PR work, and then I worked with Parsons School of Design.
Nice.
So like I accumulated a lot of, let's say, credentials.
Okay.
Prior to transitioning. And then when I decided to physically transition, it almost felt like I had to kind of like let all that go and start over. My whole life. It
Almost
felt
like new identity vibes.
New, literally though, because the name even that was on all of those records
Is something different now.
is something totally different. So I felt like if I'm gonna come back or, you know, trailblaze again, if you will,
Period.
I want to do that in a way that I feel like is meaningful to who I am now and where I want to go. And I think the hesitation, the insecurity that I may feel is like how to, not how to announce it, but how to introduce that.
Okay.
I started my whole transition in LA. So people who got to know me growing up in New York, they didn't see that for like 4 years.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair
and
enough.
I had to adapt to a whole new lifestyle somewhere else, not with people that I'm used to being around. It was hard. I felt really guarded because I feel like I lost some friends along the way. I I just knew that things were different in general, but I just feel like when it came to pre-transitioning, I dropped the ball on a lot of things, and then post, I want to pick that ball back up. I tried to pick the ball back up, or I thought I could, but it's really not the same.
Can I use what you just said to transition into the second card because I feel like it does relate?
Yeah.
So this was the second card, the Page of Swords, and it's in reverse, just to give you guys a reminder. This card is giving me vibes of, again, like, you know, that over attention to detail, that really paying attention, really, it almost feels like trying to make sure that things are perfect.
Yeah.
And it feels like it could be coming from this insecurity of, you know, will people accept me as this new version of me? Which I feel is beautiful, but I feel for you, yes, the world can be a tricky place to navigate. Yes, people can have opinions and people can feel different ways, but getting into what is causing this blockage in your business, I feel is more or less a worry about things outside of you, people outside of you, and less of a worry about why you love what you're doing. You know, like the focus is a little bit shifted. Going into the third card, it kind of talks, I'll show you again, about that imbalance. It's like, not that you know, you don't actually receive the inspirations and act on them, but it's like when you receive those inspirations, the thing that comes up for you, what it seems like in your mind is, Okay, but now this is Draya King presenting this new inspiration. Will it be okay?
Yeah.
Will it be acceptable? Will it be supported? Will people find the value in what I'm presenting as my new identity?
Yeah.
Which can be, it can be inspiring, but it can be intense as well.
100%. I feel like, for example, I was really getting into music before. I really wanted to pursue music like as a profession.
Okay.
Whether that be songwriting, performing artist, A&R, something in music I wanted to do.
I know this. Go ahead, I'll let you tell the people.
And what I realized was I knew I wasn't passionate about it anymore when it became, how will people perceive me doing music? How will people accept me? And that's when I knew that I didn't want that, because I put that over passion. And I just knew like how tricky the industry is and how people nitpick you as fuck. And you have to have a certain level of confidence,
Thick skin.
thick skin. You have to be able to accept critique.
Yes.
And harsh criticism even, and also getting a lot of doors closed and a lot of no's. And I wasn't prepared. Sorry. And I wasn't prepared for that.
Okay.
I wasn't. I didn't want to deal with that. And when I evaluated that over passion, I knew that that wasn't for me anymore, or that it wasn't something I was confident to pursue in that moment. So reevaluating who I am, what I am passionate about, what I want to do. And fast forward, now that I'm producing Clickbait, I feel genuinely passionate about it. No matter how much I'm in my head about what needs to be done better, what shouldn't be done at all.
Right.
That's all coming from me. I'm not listening to what other people are telling me I shouldn't be doing, what I should be doing. I accept feedback, of course. But at the end of the day, the final decision is based on how Draya feels.
That's that big king energy, period.
And that's when I knew that I wanted to pursue media. I wanted to pursue creating my platform and comfortable enough to share it.
And I love that. Can we go into a little bit of a coaching vibe at this time? Because I kind of have some things I want to say about some of the things that you just, were vulnerable enough to share with the public.
I'm cringing, but yes.
It's okay. No, it's actually a really, really good thing. So talking about, the transition from music to media, what I can say that I'm hearing as far as how you explained it is that although you changed passions, the mindset still kind of followed you into this new endeavor. It may not be as obvious to you because the passion is a little bit louder at this point, which is beautiful. But it can also be tricky because if the mindset is behind the passion, it's kind of low key running the passion. Right?
Okay.
So if you're bringing that same mindset about, people and their critiques and, will they see the value? Will they see the support? Maybe you have felt more aware of these thoughts when you were doing music and less aware of them now that you're in media. But it's showing that the mindset is still active enough to come through in the cards.
I'm still passionate about that industry.
Well, more or less like, again, going back to the mindset aspect of it, you switched industries, but the mindset hasn't switched enough. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So again, that worrying about like, being able to have thick skin is something I feel that you not worry about, but something you need to bring from your older endeavor into this new one as well. Because it does feel like this attention to detail is less about you wanting to just do something really great. Yes, you want to do something really great, but it feels like it's more pertaining to making sure that you give no one a reason to say anything negative about what you are doing.
Yes, because I'm still learning as I go.
Okay.
So as much as I'm not too hard on myself, let me take that back.
I was about to say,
lied.
don't lie.
I lied. I'm hard on myself.
Yes.
But that's okay for me.
You're okay
because
with
I'm
being hard on yourself.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Because I'm pushing myself to not be content or to not settle for what I feel like is good enough in the moment. No,
Don't be complacent.
Never. Because I feel like that is a generational curse that I must break.
Where is the line?
Okay.
Where is the line?
That is a curse that I must break, getting content and like almost like stabilized and like good enough or what's supposed to be. I don't know,
The
but
status quo.
I don't even want to have that in my mind.
Okay.
So I'm damn near scared of like not making it because it's like I don't know what a plan B
would be.
I mean, obviously there's other things I'm good at, but
yeah. Nothing
if
that
I
you're
have my
this
mind set
passionate
on
about.
something, I want to just do that. Why should
Full
I have
steam
to
ahead.
plan on something else? That means I'm taking away from what I'm supposed to be focused on.
And I agree with you 100%. It's so funny too because I see you doing your thing, and I've never seen you more in your element than I see you are now. And this is my opinion.
That means a lot.
No, honestly, and
That
I
means
feel
a
like
lot.
if I'm able to see that, that means that the world is able to see that, and that's a beautiful thing.
I hope so, world.
You know,
You better.
but let me ask you, right? Since we've had this little discussion,
Yeah.
this is my little question, and maybe it'll become a minor homework assignment for you, right? Do it at your own leisure when you have the time. But
More work, yay.
Yeah, I know you're busy, you're booked and busy, but this is self-improvement work.
Okay.
Right. So I want you to sit with self because you're really good at evaluating whether it's your business, whether it's your mindset, whether it's yourself. Right. But I want you to sit with self and ask yourself, at this point, do you care more about the love of what you're doing or more about the opinions of how people will receive what you're doing? And it's okay if you don't have the answer. It's okay if your ego answers for you in this moment. But the reason I'm saying to sit with it is because after a while of focusing on this question, the truth will reveal itself to you.
Okay.
And I want you to take whatever truth reveals itself to you and apply it as need be. Whether it's, well, you know what, in this moment, I do care more about, making sure people are satisfied. And it's nothing wrong with making sure your audience is happy with your content and stuff like that. But again, that lack of balance, like, okay, is it that I want them to be happy or I want their approval? I want their acceptance.
Well, I have sort of an answer. I'm going to sit on it still because I want to deep dive.
But I want to hear your answer.
But in this moment, how I feel about that is there is a balance. Well, I do have to balance both, but there is an imbalance.
Okay.
I know that I care about how I feel and how passionate I am, but because this industry is such a relationship-based thing, I have to care about what people think. Because not to say that it's their opinion over mine, but because this is something I'm sharing.
This is true.
So if I'm sharing something with somebody, it can be, oh, take it. This is what I'm giving you.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. It has to be, how do you feel about it as well? What is your feedback now? This is where feedback comes in.
Right.
What is your feedback? Let's pour into each other's pots.
Okay.
And I'm learning to be okay with that. I love compromise. I can definitely compromise. I mean, hello, I'm compromising right now. Like, we're sharing something right now. We're compromising right now.
We are. This is the truth.
And that's really important for me because I want people to know that you can collaborate. You can be your own independent boss. I can be my own independent boss. Somebody watching can be an independent boss.
Absolutely.
And we're all sharing an experience together still. Like, this world isn't just like dog eats dog.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like back in the days when the hippies used to, share every fucking thing and do everything together, and there was no fucking compensation for it besides goods and resource. You know what I'm saying? That's what people were offering. I feel like I hate, and this is me on a whole rant right now, but I hate how people I hate classism. I hate how people they differ in things that are personal opinions or personal based versus how can I learn from you? And more importantly, I'm so sick of popularity over passion, popularity, clout over talent. Like, that's why it was important for me to give a platform also as an independent artist, as an independent talent, as an independent content creator and entrepreneur myself, I see my reflection in others.
Okay.
And I also see them for who they are.
So you're creating space. I'll
I'm
call it
creating
even
space.
sacred
Yes,
space for these
absolutely.
people who remind you of you.
Yeah,
It's almost
people who
like
are
you're
passionate.
pioneering the way so that people can follow, not necessarily in your footsteps, but the people who are like you, they'll have, again, that sacred space to do things differently than maybe people have done them before.
Absolutely, because I am not an influencer.
Period.
I do not want people to follow in my footsteps. I just want to lead by example.
I love it.
I am of influence and I understand that. And I am just learning to accept that. For the longest, I was so afraid of like giving myself that much credit.
Okay.
And I feel like, no, it's a responsibility and it's an honor.
It is.
To be of influence. I am not an influencer. I am not trying to persuade anybody to do anything. I am not trying to tell people what's trendy or what to hop on. No, that's not me.
What I like is that what I got from what you just said was, I'm not an influencer, I'm a person of influence. And there's a big difference.
There's a huge difference.
Period. I love that so much. Draya, let me ask you.
Yes.
Do you feel like these 3 cards that we pulled for you today kind of hit home with what it is that you feel like you've been kind of dealing with in regards to your business?
Honestly, feel like I just got a lot off my chest that I've been holding in for a very long time. No, but seriously, yeah. I do feel like that just gave me some inner awakening. Like my eyes are open.
Your eyes are open. I love it. This is what we love to see. So, Draya, let's get a card of advice. Can I do that for you?
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap it up because I feel like Spirit is really communicating with you the things that I feel you already know, but maybe you didn't give it enough attention as you need to. And now you have more of an open door to kind of look and see what's going on there so you can do the work, right? Like that's what it's all about. As you said, you're on a journey where you're constantly learning, you're constantly growing.
Absolutely.
And this is no different, right? This is one of many pathways that you're going to be on that's going to come with different challenges and obstacles that you are going to be able to overcome. Absolutely. I have no doubts about that. So let's get a card of advice for you, babe. I'm ready. You ready?
Ooh, yes.
Let's talk about it. Okay.
Let's get into it.
For
what have you done to me?
Ooh.
I feel like I'm so exposed right now. I feel like a naked
you know
mole rat.
What? Vulnerability is hot as F. I have a card, a tarot deck with one card that says that, and I think it's so true. It is very sexy to be vulnerable.
I was definitely interested to see like the other guests who come on and what they have to say and, you know, getting to know them deeper. But like, I didn't know it would feel like this, but it feels great. I would say that.
But you know what, too? I love the fact that you are leading by example, even in your own creative network, because you're literally the first guest on this show. Like, way to set the standard. Like,
I mean, yeah.
Whoa, we're getting deep. Okay, one card of advice for Draya. What needs to be heard, said, and honored. One card of advice for Draya. I'll take it. Ooh, surrender comparisons with other people.
Surrender that,
like give it up, let it go. Okay. Release that. Release the need to feel like you need to look at what someone else is doing and compare your greatness to theirs. I'm going to show you guys as well. I'm going to read the card to you, but I also have my own personal opinion about what this card really means for you. Okay. So the card says, keep your eyes trained on yourself. Focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power, which reminds me like of this card, just staying in this energy. You're already here, but just stay there, remain there, right? Yeah. Now, in your industry, like you said, like relationships are everything. And you, although you are a great media network, you are not the only media network. And I do feel like there's a difference in, you know, looking at what other people in your field are doing or have done in order to learn from the people, your predecessors, right? There's a difference between that and almost like going into this energy of like, what I'm doing isn't good enough. Like I see what they're doing. I see how they've made it. I'm not where they are, and almost allowing that to affect you negatively. Now, this may not be something you actively do, but on a subconscious level, it came out for a reason. I feel like in the back of your mind, there may be times, even if it's not every day, even if it's not all the time, there may be times where you find that you're looking at the success of others. You're looking at maybe how other people are doing things or how well received other people are by the public, and comparing it maybe to your success, comparing it to how people receive you and your content, right? And again, doing that so that you can learn from the greats and the people who are doing well is beautiful. Doing it at detriment to yourself, where it's almost like you begin to feel less of a great goddess that you are because you're maybe not where you see other people are, like where they're at yet. I feel like that's the difference, that you need to make sure you're remaining on one side of it, not the other side of it. Does that make sense?
That does, yeah.
Yeah. So that was your advice. I feel like that was really straightforward and to the point. Again, you're in a field where you are one of many great media outlets.
And something that I always tell myself, I'd rather be under good than above bad.
Oh, I love when you tell me that. I love when you tell me that.
I know I say that often, right? Yeah. And to reiterate, I'd rather be under good than above bad. So when I do I guess compare myself to others, I don't think I technically compare myself to the person, but I compare their strengths versus my strengths, or their weaknesses versus my weaknesses, or what I perceive. Because I don't know that to be true, but it's just off my observation, of course.
Right.
So let's say someone like Beyonce. She's great. She's good.
She's the GOAT. Let's talk about it.
She's GOAT. So I would put myself under Beyonce.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want to get to that standard of goddess, of boss. So that's where the nitpicking myself and perfectionism comes in, because it's like, I know that I'm not there yet.
Right.
But I know that I'm on my way.
I love
and
it.
It's not to take Beyonce off of her pedestal. It's to be on an equal pedestal
with her,
aside, on my own. On my own. I don't want to be settle for better than someone who's doing bad. Because I feel like, what's the bar there? What's the standard that they set for me?
Right. Right.
You know, somebody could be a 1 and I could be a 2. That's not a 10.
That's not a 10. Like, we're both under 5. Like, let's talk about it.
Right. We're both under 3. And we're not the number 1 that we should be.
Period.
So
I love the numerology aspect, how that just came in. But go ahead, I'm listening, babe.
But yeah, I would rather measure my success like that, knowing that I am an individual at the same time. And yes, I've had those moments where I've compared myself to literal people. I don't believe you have to take away from anybody else.
Agreed.
To make yourself look good. I don't believe that you have to knock someone off of their pedestal to find one.
That's called true confidence, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I am building something to share, not to badger you on what you could be doing better, or what I think is my idea for you.
Or again, to influence people to follow you.
I'm not trying to do that. I would love, I also do brain consulting, but that's upon request. I'm not just going to impose myself.
Right. It's not unsolicited.
It's not unsolicited. And learning boundaries is something that I'm even just learning to set. I feel like nothing was a problem for me until it becomes a problem, and I need to set those boundaries ahead of time for it to not be a problem. And I think people comparing me to them or comparing me to anything else besides what I used to be and what I'm going to be is a problem.
I see that.
Because if I'm comparing myself to anybody, it's who I used to be. I look at my archives and I'm like, oh, how can I do that better?
Legit. Let's go back in history.
I'm not looking at other people's pages like, how can I be better than them?
Which is nice.
Anybody else's. I really do not look at other people's media platforms. I read a lot of articles. I do a lot of research, but I don't recall ever looking at somebody's platform and sitting there and watching them. Like, how can I do things better than them? Or how can I take something that they're doing it and making it better? Like, all of my ideas are
your own.
Are my own. Like, these are original ideas.
A Draya King original.
People might have similar content, but I mean, there's so many things that are the same in the world. It's
There's
just
nothing
about
new
what
under the
makes
sun.
you original, what makes you a standout, and I have that.
One thing I love to say is that no one can do what you do the way you do it.
Exactly.
And I feel like that applies to anybody in any field.
And that's why I give people their flowers on this platform, to
Which is
let you
beautiful.
know, like, you're doing something good. I brought you on to my network
Mhm.
to let you know that I see what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing.
Love
And
you.
I think that more people can appreciate what you're doing.
I hope
You're
you guys
already
do.
an inspiration to your audience.
Thank you.
I see all of your clients and all of their
The testimonies.
all their reviews, their testimonies, how they felt after you gave them readings. Hell, I got a personal reading from you. Like, I know that you know what you're doing, and it's not coming from a biased point of view because we're family. Like,
Right.
you were never ever biased to me. Like, when I tell you,
Don't throw me
Sakira was
under that bus.
the biggest perfectionist growing up. We would do so much content together when we were younger, and we had literal dance videos that we would record for 12 fucking
14.
hours. 14 hours. And we were fucking, I want to say 16 and 20 at the time?
Yeah. Like 19, 15, something like that.
Yeah, it was giving those ages. We were like really getting to it. We started our social medias based off of promoting our talents, and
really did.
Look where we're at now. Like, that's why it's like I can't help but to think about what I dropped off, but what I still hold in my heart, and what sometimes I do feel a little insecure about. Like, damn, like, do people still just attach that to me? You know what I'm saying? And just like other things that I like have insecurities about that I'm not going to expose right now because I don't deserve that.
It's all good. It's all good.
But just to say that, like, I do understand where I came from.
Okay.
And I love that part of myself because it influenced me to be who I am today, and it influenced me to be a better person and to share that light. So everything that I've done, who I am, who I was, is still all inside of me.
It never went anywhere.
It never went anywhere.
Growth comes with shedding old skin. You know, snakes, they shed dead skin all the time. And sometimes the dead skin is going to look like friends. Sometimes it's going to look like, you know, relocating because you can't stay in the same area where you were because it's not meant for you anymore.
That was a big part of shedding too.
You know, and you're growing, you're thriving. I see here, like, you don't have many challenges when it comes to what you're doing. Just the minor things that we talked about in today's session. But ultimately, you are in your power. This is your era. Like, I know you love the word era, like, but it fits here. It applies here. I see that you're doing your thing. And like you said, this is a learning process, right? This is a growth process. And I see you doing that. Like, you're very mission focused. And I'm very happy to say I'm on the Clickbait Network team. You know what I mean? Because big things for you means big things for everybody associated with you. And it's amazing.
Absolutely.
It really, really is.
Yeah.
So, Miss King,
yes,
this is the end of our session. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
I love to hear it.
I feel relieved. I'm not as nervous as I was getting into it.
Okay.
I'm excited to move forward. Let me just plug real quick. Podcast King Season 2 is coming soon to the Clickbait Network. And
where is this located?
The Clickbait Network?
No, Podcast King Season 2. Where is it located?
Oh, we're in New York, baby. We are home. We are taking it home. I started the season 1 in LA, and I did get a lot of hit-ups from people home that, bitch, how can I get a feature? Like, what's going on?
Right. I'm trying to be on the podcast.
Right.
I was one of those people, remember?
You were.
I was like, how am I getting to LA from New York? Like, how are we doing this?
So to bring it home now, I just feel great. I feel like this season I'm going to be giving a lot of people who I admire their flowers and be able to, like, have that full circle moment with them. And I'm not going to give too much away, but I am very excited for season 2. Season 2 is going to be a good one.
I feel like
another one.
Another one. Oh my God, DJ Khaled.
And I'm so excited to move forward with producing content and watching you host Open Your Eyes. I feel like this is going to be a really great platform for people who are looking for that deeper meaning of self. And if you took anything from this session, I think you can take that. You're gonna have to get a little vulnerable. You're gonna have to, open up a little bit. And I hope that everybody who gets to experience this platform, they enjoy it as much as I do.
Same here. I'm on the same page with
I
you
love seeing you in
here.
your element.
Well, thank you. We're both in our elements and we look glorious doing it.
Yes,
I have
we
no
do.
complaints. But that really finishes out the session. I'm so happy to have done the first episode of the series with you. It feels iconic because we've done so much together.
We're those girls.
We are those girls. And I'm so happy to see that although the way we started, it didn't, end up being that fulfilled as far as just the dreams we had as kids. They didn't really come into fruition, but they did pave the way for where we are now.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful for the journey that we've had together. You've always been my backbone and I love you so much.
As well as you have been for me.
So you guys, we've done enough talking.
Yes.
I know we had like a whole moment. I hope you guys enjoyed everything that this first episode came with. You guys heard what's coming next for Draya King and for the Clickbait Network, so stay tuned for all of that. And you guys, that's it. It's a wrap. Until the next episode, stay tuned. We will see you soon. We love you. And that's it.
Bye, guys.